How's it going, guys? Necromancer Noob with the Remnant 2 video. In today's video, we are going to be talking about Remnant from the Ashes, the first game in the Remnant series, and what things I would like to see from Remnant 2 that were previously in Remnant from the Ashes. Now, first things first, let's talk about transmogs and cosmetics from Remnant from the Ashes. That's right. After the DLC from the first Remnant, you were awarded a new material that you could spend on Whispers, and he could give you a different skin or pattern for your armor sets. Now, like I mentioned, these could be simple pattern changes or a color swap for the palette, but why not stop there? Why not give us multiple variations for colors? Why not give us the choice to add and do our own colors as well? This is one thing I'd love to see fleshed out a little bit more in Remnant 2. Now, next on the list, let's talk about traits. Now, as you can see, I am a whopping level 715, and that is counting. I can still stack that up more. That's right, each trait could go up to level 20, and you didn't have a limit, so you could max out everything and anything. Now, I understand they gave us more ring slots, and classes were added to the mix, giving us a lot of variety in what we could do in our builds, but I would still love to see that level cap increased for the traits. Maybe prop it up to 100, and as time goes on and DLC is added, maybe you guys can bump it up even higher, but hey, maybe that's just me. Not to mention, there was a lot of variety in the traits as well. I'd say the traits were about doubled as the amount that you could have in Remnant 2. As you can see, we got melee charge damage, revive damage reduction, low health damage, summon damage, mod damage, explosion damage, mod duration, and a lot of the basic ones from the second one. I feel like it was just a lot more fleshed out when it came to the traits. Now, next on my list, I would love to see some of these worlds reimagined or just come back into Remnant 2. Some of these included Rom, Corsus, Resium, Yesha, and Earth. We had the barren desert wasteland that was known as Rom, inhabited by feral tribesmen, and also home to long lost forgotten temples. We also had Corsus, the swamp area, overrun and taken over by disgusting insects, beetles, bugs, monsters, and a lot of enemies that were considered nightmare fuel. We also had Resium, the DLC area from the Subject 2923 expansion. A cold, barren blizzard landscape overrun and taken over by nasty ratmen. I don't know, it was human-sized ratmen and all shapes and sizes. It was a fun time. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Not to mention, even Earth was fleshed out a little bit more. You could be able to roll that in adventure as well and get some different biomes and variations. We had the post-apocalyptic Earth taken over by the Root, even home to some bandits, nasty monsters and creatures, exploring abandoned warehouses and buildings, underground sewers inhabited by a lot of monsters, and even psycho bandits and their camps. A lot of these areas had very fun enemy types, a really good world design, and not to mention the bosses were very memorable as well, so I would love to see some of these make a return, or like I said, even be reimagined. Next on the list, I want to talk about outfits and bonuses and prefixes you would get with equipment. In the first Remnant, each equipment would come with a set prefix or bonus that would stack if you had the full set of equipment. Now, I'm not saying I want every piece of armor to come with a prefix or bonus. I understand why they took that away. It gives us more liberty in kind of a fashion soul sense. We can wear what we want, but I would still like to see some variations and some different types of equipment and armor that have different benefits. I mean, we have the Navigator Helm that gives you a piece of weapon. We have the Crown of the Red Prince that has some dialogue options and a few different areas that you can access with that. Not to mention, we also have the Lodestone Crown paired with a specific ring. You get a little bit bonus in damage, and there's also some dialogue options, but aside from that, that's about it. It feels very kind of gimmicky, if I could say. Now, the last thing I want to talk about that I would like to see in Remnant 2, which is partly the main reason I made this video, I want to talk about survival mode. Now, survival mode was basically a boss rush mode with a few slight tweaks and variations to the gameplay. You'd start in a main hub area that had a main crystal that took you to a random location and a few pillars along the lines that came with consumables, equipment, weapons, armor that are all randomized depending on your run and just RNG. You were sent off into a random world and had to take out the boss. Once you took out the boss, you would head back to the main hub crystal and start over. You'd restock, maybe change your gear and your set and what you were building, and you'd go from there. The damage would keep ramping up as you progress. Enemies would get stronger as you go on. You could still find equipment roaming the world along with getting the specific mod or weapon you get from defeating the boss. And clearing out set areas and locations would also grant you exclusive items and rings that you could use in all your profiles. But yeah, that's about it, guys. That is everything I got for you today. If you like this video, leave a like, subscribe, comment. I got plenty more Remnant 2 videos along the way. Let me know if you guys would like to see these changes added to Remnant 2, or if you played the first Remnant, what things you miss and what you would like to see as well.